Jamaica, October 28, 2025.
Well, I make sure what's come out and hopefully I can't feel it with Jesus Christ.
Hurricane Melissa is wreaking havoc in Jamaica as the Caribbean nation faces the strongest storm in its modern history. The storm, which weakened briefly on Tuesday night before re-strengthening to a Category 4 hurricane with winds of 209 kilometers per hour, is heading towards Cuba and then the Bahamas. Melissa earlier hit the Jamaican coast with winds exceeding 280 kilometers per hour. A Jamaica Meteorological Service official has warned conditions will get much worse throughout the day, and the U.S. National Hurricane Center is forecasting strong winds, flash flooding, and storm surge. Jamaican authorities are urging residents and visitors to continue taking shelter, as nearly a third of the country is without power. Photos emerging from Jamaica since Hurricane Melissa made landfall show uprooted trees and damaged homes. This is a very bad situation, said World Meteorological Organization tropical cyclone specialist and Claire Fontaine at a press conference, warning of a possible storm surge of up to 4 meters. The roof of a hospital has been ripped off, former Jamaican Senator Imani Duncan Price told the BBC.
Water to roof height. Firemen up here do rescue work. People get trapped in a house.
Church there, totally demolished. It's gone.
Up to 76 centimeters of rain is expected in some areas, and some areas have already experienced flash flooding. About 70% of the island's 2.8 million people live within 5 kilometers of the sea. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness told CNN that he expects devastating impacts. The reports we've received so far include damage to hospitals, significant damage to residential properties, housing, and commercial properties, he told host Anderson Cooper on Tuesday night.
We're at Old Greenvale Road.
The government has not received any new reports of storm-related deaths, Holness said, but given the storm's strength, he expects there will be some loss of life. Wildlife is also at risk. Flooding could displace crocodiles from their natural habitats, Jamaican health officials said. Rising water levels in rivers, streams, and swamps could cause crocodiles to move into residential areas, the Southeast Regional Health Authority said in a statement. Therefore, residents living in those areas are advised to remain vigilant and avoid flooding. The slow-moving storm is expected to remain strong as it moves across Jamaica, whose highland communities are vulnerable to landslides and flooding. Even before the eye of the storm made landfall, the region was already experiencing extreme weather and loss of life. On Monday, the Jamaican government said 3 people had died in hurricane-related incidents, including fallen trees.
Arise. Okay.
David up there. What? I'm stuck at fuck.
Meanwhile, Hurricane Melissa moved toward Cuba's second-largest city at the strength of a powerful Category 4 hurricane on Tuesday, hours after making landfall in neighboring Jamaica as the strongest hurricane ever recorded to hit the Caribbean island nation. Melissa made landfall near the southwestern town of New Hope, packing winds of up to 185 miles per hour, 295 kilometers per hour. According to the U.S. National Hurricane Center, well above the 157 miles per hour, 252 kilometers per hour minimum sustained winds of a Category 5 hurricane, the highest level on the Saffir-Simpson wind scale. In southwestern Jamaica, the parish of St. Elizabeth was underwater, an official said, with more than 500,000 residents without power. The reports we've received so far include damage to hospitals, significant damage to residential properties, housing and commercial properties, and damage to road infrastructure, Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness said on CNN after the storm passed. Holness said the government had not yet received confirmation of any hurricane-related fatalities, but given the storm's strength and the extent of the damage, we expect there will be some casualties. Melissa's winds eased to 145 miles per hour, 233 kilometers per hour, the NHC said, as the storm passed over the mountainous island, hitting highland communities prone to landslides and flooding. The storm was forecast to turn northeast on a path towards Santiago de Cuba, Cuba's second most populous city. We should feel its main effects this afternoon and evening, Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel said in a message published in the government newspaper Granma, urging residents to comply with evacuation orders. There will be a lot of work to be done. We know that this cyclone will cause significant damage. Cuban authorities said about 500,000 people were ordered to evacuate to higher ground. In the Bahamas, Melissa's next northeastward path, the government ordered the evacuation of residents in the southern region of the archipelago. Further east, the island shared by Haiti and the Dominican Republic has been experiencing days of heavy rains that have resulted in at least 4 deaths, authorities there said. Local media reported at least 3 deaths in Jamaica during hurricane preparations, and a disaster coordinator suffered a stroke as the storm was approaching and was rushed to the hospital. Many areas remained cut off Tuesday night. No stranger to hurricanes, Jamaica had never previously experienced a direct hit from a Category 4 or 5 hurricane, and the government appealed for foreign assistance even as it prepared for Melissa's arrival. Meteorologists at AccuWeather said Melissa ranks as the third most powerful hurricane ever observed in the Caribbean, after Wilma in 2005 and Gilbert in 1988, the last major hurricane to hit Jamaica.
Roof left and you know no window. Everything in your house gone, brother. See it here? I hit this. Look here. I don't know how to tell each other left the shop up.
Light post, me I try light post a drop. Light post a drop. Something drop down in the roof.
This is a very catastrophic situation, said World Meteorological Organization tropical cyclone specialist and Claire Fontaine at a press conference, warning of a storm surge of up to 4 meters. For Jamaica, this will definitely be the storm of the century. Colin Bogle, a counselor for the aid group Mercy Corps in Portmore, near the Jamaican capital Kingston, said he heard a loud boom in the morning before everything went dark. He heard a continuous rumbling sound and saw trees swaying violently in the wind. Scientists warn that hurricanes are strengthening more quickly and becoming more frequent due to warming oceans. Many Caribbean leaders have called on wealthy, highly polluting nations to provide compensation in the form of aid or debt relief to tropical island nations. Melissa's size and strength are increasing as it moves through unusually warm Caribbean waters, but forecasters warn that its slow movement could prove devastating. Food aid will be crucial, Bogle said, as will equipment, vehicle parts, and seeds for farmers.
It's beating the wind out. It's the best way you can see.
Like last year's devastating Hurricane Beryl, Melissa crossed some of Jamaica's most productive agricultural zones. On Monday, Holness said the government had a $33 million emergency budget and insurance and credit provisions for slightly more damage than Beryl. Melissa made landfall in southwest Jamaica, near the parish border between Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth, one of the areas hardest hit by Beryl. St. Elizabeth was flooded, local government minister Desmond McKenzie said at a news conference. The only public hospital there experienced a power outage and reported severe damage to one of its buildings. In Portland Cottage, about 150 kilometers, 94 miles, from where Melissa made landfall, Colin Henry McDonald, 64, a retiree, told Reuters as the storm advanced that his community was experiencing heavy rain and strong winds, but his concrete roofs remained firm.
Swamp Major Marks, Kingston's place. This is the condition. The flooding right there in Mandela.
About 15,000 Jamaicans were in temporary shelters as of Tuesday evening, McKenzie said. The government had issued mandatory evacuation orders for 28,000 people, but many were reluctant to leave their homes. The International Federation of Red Cross said up to 1.5 million people in Jamaica were expected to be directly affected by the storm.
This is crazy.
Furthermore, forecasters warn that Jamaica faces severe flash flooding and numerous landslides. Airports have been closed and toll booths have been removed to ensure everyone who needs to evacuate can move as easily and quickly as possible. The small country has limited resources and is still recovering from the damage caused by Hurricane Beryl, which caused historic levels of destruction last year.
Look over here, look on the thing top here, look on the thing there, don't look up, you know.
Jesus Christ, God.
There is no infrastructure in this region capable of withstanding a Category 5 disaster, said Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The question now is the speed of recovery. That's the challenge. A life-threatening storm surge of up to 4 meters, 13 feet, is expected to hit southern Jamaica, and officials are concerned about damage to hospitals along the coastline.
Oh my God.